Good. Okay, let's get our questions out for chapter 17 and the afterword. And you all did a very good job on the afterword. The afterword is something in a book that explains more about the book. So it was a good thing to read and understand about why she wrote the book. So I will read the question, and then Tran, you read your answer, and then Beltran, you read yours, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Why was everyone celebrating in Denmark?
They were celebrating the end of the war and Denmark's freedom from the Nazis.
Right.
Everyone was celebrating in Denmark because it was the end of war and Denmark had freedom from the Nazis.
Very good. Number 2, what happened to Peter?
The Germans caught him and he was executed.
Peter is found out by the Nazis and executed.
Right. Number 3, what did Annemarie learn about Lise?
Lise was a member of the resistance and she had been killed by a military transport that trained her down while she was leaving a, a resistance meeting.
Okay.
She nearly had died in an accident, but she learned was a member of the resistance, and when she was leaving another military transport ran her down.
Yes. Okay. Inferential questions. Number 1, what does Annemarie wearing Ellen's necklace show?
Annemarie wearing Ellen's necklace showed that her necklace symbolized Annemarie's devotion to her friend and her stand against the Germans.
Good.
It showed that she is a devoted friend and will return it to Ellen to wear it again.
Very good. Okay. Opinion questions. What will the Rosens do now that the war is over?
I think they will be happy and they will celebrate a party.
Good.
I think that the Rosans will celebrate and be happy.
Good. I think they'll come back to Denmark too. Okay. Afterward, how many years were the German soldiers in Denmark?
The German soldiers occupied Denmark for 5 years.
The Germans were in Denmark for 5 years.
Okay, occupied or were in is the same thing. So that was good. You could say they occupied or they were in. Either one of them is good. Number 2, did they ever control King Christian?
No, they didn't ever confront him with a phrase meaning two words were and his role as a daily symbol for Danish national sentiment during the German occupation. He became one of the most popular Danish monarchs of modern times.
No, they didn't ever control King Christian.
Okay. Number 3, what was the name of the German official who told the Danish government what the Germans were going to do?
The essay focused on the action of George Friedrich Duquesne, a German diplomat stationed in the capital of Copenhagen, who alerted both the Jewish community and the Danish underground of the coming up. As a result of Danish courage and intervention, most of the Danish Jews went into hiding.
Okay.
He was after with
Okay. He was a very, very brave man. And he was real. He was a real person. And he was a very brave man for doing what he did. And he saved a lot of people's lives. Okay. How many Danish Jews were smuggled across the sea to Sweden?
7,800 Danish Jews were smuggled across the sea to Sweden.
The Danish Jews that were smuggled across the sea to Sweden were nearly 7,000 people.
Okay. Number 5. The handkerchief was a real part of history. What was it used for?
From the bottom of 135 to the top of 136, it tells us that the handkerchief was a real part of history. Swedish scientists created a powder of dried rabbit's blood and cocaine to put on a handkerchief that attracts dogs. When the dogs sniffed it, their noses were numb and they lost their sense of smell, so many lives were saved.
Lives. Okay.
It was
Okay.
used for boat captains to keep the dogs from smelling so they wouldn't find people hiding on the boat.
Very good. They couldn't smell, so they couldn't find people if they couldn't smell. Okay. Now, this week we have nothing to read because we're finished reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the summary questions like I did for the last book. And I want you to answer it in as much detail as you can. The first question is, did you like reading this book? Why or why not? And explain to me in several sentences why you liked it or why you didn't like it, okay? So there's 5 questions, and I want you to answer and explain them to me. And then your teacher has the next book we're going to start, and she's already read it. And it's a true story about a boy who grew up in Vietnam about 75 years ago in the central part, but it tells so you can learn many things about your country and the way things were so many years ago in the central part of the country. I've read the book with many students there, and they all like it because they say they learn some new things about their country that they never did before, because living in the central part was very different than living in the south or the north, because they had jungle and all kinds of things. So I think you'll like it and it will be fun to read. But I will send the summary questions to you today. And as soon as you're finished with, and I'll send you some other questions to answer for Wednesday. Okay? Now, Contran, I have one more set of questions to go over with Bautron. So you can get off now and I will finish the questions because I've already done these questions with you last week. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you have a very good week and I will see you Wednesday. And Bautron, you get your answers to chapter 15 and 16, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, what was in the basket that helped fool the Germans into thinking it was Uncle Henrik's lunch?
The thing that for the Germans was a bread, cheese, and an apple.
Right. They saw those things and so they thought it really was a lunch. Why did Annemarie behave like Kirsty when she was stopped by the German soldiers?
She behaved like Kirsty because she told herself what would Kirsty do in this situation, so they would think she was just a silly little girl.
Okay. Why was it good that Annemarie did not know what was in the packet?
It is good that Annemarie doesn't know what's in the packet because she can act naturally Her purpose is innocence and her ignorance. She won't give herself or anyone else away.
That was a very, very good answer. You did a good job describing and telling everything. I liked that. Why do you think the German soldiers stopped Annemarie?
I think the soldier think that Annemarie is suspicious with the basket on her hand.
Yes. Number 2, why do you think the contents of the packet were so important?
I think the contents of the packet were so important because they might have something to do with the Rosens and other Jewish people.
Very good, yes. And chapter 16, what did Annemarie learn about Peter from Uncle Henrik? What were the 2 clues that should have clued Annemarie in about Peter?
Peter was a part of the underground system. Peter would help smuggle Jews into Sweden in fishing boats. Special compartments were made within the boats to hide people. Annemarie said she was fooled by these boats as well as Peter frequents fishing trips that he made at night.
Good. Okay, what was Uncle Henrik's explanation for each of the following? A, Annemarie not seeing the Rosens in the boat. B, the use of a drug on the baby. And C, the handkerchief.
A. The Rosen and the others were underneath when she brought the basket.
Yes.
B. Peter insists that the drugs are necessary to prevent the baby from crying. He knows that if the baby makes noise during an inspection, all of the refugees' lives will be in danger. Also, it might appear that Peter is being rude to the young mother. He is actually taking necessary precautions to ensure the safety of the group.
Very good answer, yes.
See, the handkerchief has a special chemical that makes the dog unable to smell anything.
Yes. Okay, what would have happened if Annemarie had not gotten the handkerchief to Uncle Henrik?
The German would have taken the Rosens and the other Jews who were trying to flee to Sweden and probably do something horrible to Uncle Henrik.
Yes. And what do you think life will be like in Sweden for the Rosens?
I think life will be hard, but we'll fight in Sweden for the Rosens.
Right. It will be hard because it will be very different from their country and they don't have their clothes and their things. You did a very, very good job. And I will send you the questions, the summary questions and the paper for next Wednesday. And you have a very good week.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.